because you don't want this stuff to pop out because they have to put it back together. That's annoying. Right there. That's the bomb for today, or that's the bombshell for today anyway. Whatever will I do? I thought I had something funnier to add to that, but I guess I don't. Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center, and welcome to the show. We've got a lot of cool new knives that have just hit our shelves, and here are a bunch of them. Let's get into it, shall we? Starting off, we got a bunch of releases that dropped just a couple of days ago from CIVIVI, and Sencut, the three-tier list of sister brands right there. So we'll have some of those peppered throughout. The first, though, the biggest news, the Yonder from CIVIVI, the larger version of the Yonder, designed by Zach Whitmore, Zach in the Wild. 'Tis here, ladies and gentlemen. Price on this remains affordable, about 62 and change for the green micarta and black stonewashed blade, 67 and change for this version right here with a satin blade and this aluminum foil G10, which I think looks especially cool. And you get a 3.35 inch blade as opposed to the 2.8 something of the standard version.
It's about Yonder big.
It's about it's an over bigger than the Yonder. Yeah. And despite the added length, though, this still feels like a very compact, easy to carry knife. It just gives you a little bit more of like that full-size knife experience without getting too bulky in your pocket or in the hand. I do have slightly larger than average hands, and it stays, I do get all four of my fingers on the handle itself, but just like it's not an overly roomy handle. So if you have really big hands, don't expect this to fill them up completely. But due to the kind of shape of it, it's still going to work well, even if you are hanging off the back. But for me, it is like just enough there for a full four-fingered grip. And if I wanted to choke up just a little bit, kind of bridge my my finger over the gap right there, that feels really nice in the hand as well. But if you go back here, you do have some finger protection thanks to the integral guard right there. The steel on these is 14C28N, so you've got really good toughness out of a stainless steel, and it's going to cut a good long time as well because everything about it is thin. The geometry of the blade, super thin. CIVIVI does their edges themselves super thin as well. And the cool thing about 14C is if you wanted to put like a 17-degree bevel on it, it could stand up to some, it can stand up better than you might expect because of the edge stability that the fine grain structure of this steel brings to play. And that thinner edge is going to feel like it cuts longer too. So it's a really cool steel on an affordable knife. What else we got? Deep carry pocket clip. It is reversible with the little blockout plate on the front. You got a crossbar lock. The action's really dialed. I think the original batches of the first Yonders, the springs were maybe a little on the lighter side. They've since kind of heavied those up, and that carries through onto the standard Yonder now too. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if there was jimping on the liners of the original Yonder or not, but there is a little bit here on the Yonder. Anyway, check it out. You could even call it a reverse Tonto blade if you wanted to, Thomas.
I think I will.
I'm going to go with Spay.
I'm going to go home.
It's Spay enough. Can we? That'd be good. Next up from Knife Company, we have the Inceptus, designed by, I'm going to butcher this last name, Robert Staniskalski. Maybe I didn't butcher. Maybe that sounds okay, actually.
Call us out in the comments.
With this knife, you have a blade shape. Website says modified Wharncliffe. Okay.
No.
Well, it is one of those kind of hard to define blade shapes, but you do have a Wharncliffe-like tip on it, so I'll let it slide here. Two primary angles to the primary bevel. It's flat ground all the way, M390 steel. This series starts just under 300. This one right here is 323. You've got a flamed titanium inlay, front and back. It's not really flamed titanium, actually, though. It's more like an entropic finish almost. But you also have a little inlay on the backspacer too, which is also cool. Feels pretty decent in the hand for such an angular knife. Maybe feeling the edge of the pocket clip just a little bit right there. adjust my grip and I don't feel it anymore. Nice clean grip all the way to the edge of the knife. So if you don't like any finger guard or flipper tab, you don't have to worry about that here. Opening is achieved with the front flipper or the cutout in the blade. As we all know, I am rebelling against front flippers, so I'm not going to front flip it.
We'll see how that works out for you.
I think there's some only front flippers on the table today, unfortunately for me. Yeah, it's a wee knife, which means it's built exceptionally well. There is never a hair out of place, so to speak, when they put their minds to these nice fancy folders. We've got a really well done pocket clip here too, milled titanium. Just, yeah, really cool design. Check it out, by Robert Senescalchi. Anyway, next up from CIVIVI, Itachi Baruka design, the Kukei, for just under $50 for this knife. And let me think, yeah, oh no, it's a front flipper only. Whatever will I do?
Front flip it.
Oh, I messed it up. Sorry. Hey, there we go. It worked. What do you got? Just over 2-inch blade, Nitro V, which is very similar to 14C28N, with a sheep's foot style blade, we'll say. Modified because you have a little bit of belly to the blade. G10 handles here. There are several different colors and flavors available. There's also a carbon fiber version as well. No pocket clip, you will notice, however. It does come with a pocket slip to keep it protected when it is kind of wandering around in your pocket. But then you have the advantage of no pocket clip to create a hot spot when you are cutting with the knife. Makes it maybe a little more precise in certain holds. Liner lock, yeah, great small utility knife. Good box cutter, box opener, or package opener. The tip is going to be very easy to use acutely or precisely because there is some belly there, but there's not so much that it kind of gets in the way when you need to get down and score something with the tip. Speaking of box openers, package openers, some very fancified versions of, it's the right way, there we go, the Rivery Zero, the spring retractable utility blade holder. These two versions right here are aluminum, just like the originals, but we have marble and gradient finishes, I almost said textures, going on. And as such, they're more than twice as much as the standard versions. These are about $195 right now. So if you like, like the actions thing going on here, but you don't like the price, you can spend less than half. Let me just check the base price. Oh yeah, we've got some for $70 for standard versions if you don't want the fancier ones right here. So yeah, take that under advisement. This rainbow one's kind of cool. Blade changes are a little bit interesting. You have to kind of extract the blade, then pull it forward, then slide the cover out. Nope, I did it wrong. Slide it back and then out, holding the blade in place because you don't want this stuff to pop out because they have to put it back together. That's annoying. Hold the red carrier down. Magnets hold it in. Pop the blade out. Pop the blade back in, and throw the cover back on. So simple, but simple but tricky. We'll go with that.
It could be worse.
It could be worse. Personally, I love these things. I bought one before KnifeCenter ever carried them, and it lives on my desk at home. I use it all the time for stuff because it's just so fun. Freaking fun, man. Next up, we've got a small batch of Grant and Gavin Hawk, or Hawk Customs now. That's what they're calling themselves now that the elder statesman has passed away, unfortunately. The Deadlock Model Cs. This is one of them. If you don't know what a deadlock is, first of all, it sounds great. And the retraction really sounds good. That's really nice. The claim to fame with the Deadlock, it was the first out-the-front automatic to have zero wiggle in the blade. There's no blade play in the open position. That's just been a thing that OTFs have had to deal with, and most continue to have to deal with now. The Deadlock, however, broke all the rules. Apart from that, it's super premium, and you would expect it to be. This is a $3,500 knife at this point in time. M390, double-edged, DLC coated, carbon fiber inlays, different versions. What is this one? This is a gold fat carbon, dark matter gold fat carbon, sorry. And just all the details are phenomenal. My favorite one, honestly, is the switch right here. Because of the size, it covers up the cutout underneath, and so it looks like the switch is just floating on top, which I just think is super cool. Other folks, myself included, also like the pocket clip here being sort of spring actuated or spring loaded. You've got a texture plate here on the back. It's the Deadlock. Yes, they're expensive. Yes, they are still kind of going fast. When I put it on the video, or when we were pulling items for the video this morning on this filming day, we had like 6 or 7 on the site, and we're down to 3. So,
what a difference lunch can make.
Yeah, it made me tired today because I had a lot of like cheese sauce on my potatoes. So I gotta do something about that. Next up, one of my favorite custom makers, Brad Zinker, just because I love the sleek refinement of his designs and his lines. This is a custom mini urban trapper acquired at the Blade Show Texas show just a couple weekends ago. $725 is the price on this. You've got a 2 3/4 inch CPM 154 blade, milled titanium handles, and everything about it is done super, super slim. And this is not a factory knife. This is a handmade custom. So, you know, some might be saying, oh, I can't believe I'm not getting more for that. Like, the level of precision required to do this is honestly kind of astonishing. You still have a frame lock, some really cool kind of cross hatching on the surfaces there to give you a little bit of traction. And it is, unfortunately for me, front flipper only. Look how nice it is. Look how slim that's going to sit in your pocket.
Stop distracting and front flip it.
I'm trying to like waste time here and stall. Hey, I front flipped it, you guys. Aren't you proud of me? I'm kind of proud of me.
Someone has to be.
You know, it comes down to 2 things. I like a front flipper better when it is more of a top flipper type of thing, where it curls around the top of the pivot. We've got that here. We've also got a significant amount of traction from that cross hatching. So, you know, it doesn't leave your grip as you go to actuate stuff. So very, very cool. Super thin, super slicey, super precise. Super check it out if you want to. Because I'm not going to buy it because I can't afford it right now. But someone out there might be able to. Super, super cool. Next up, RoseCraft. We have the Snake River Copperhead slip joint. 2 versions of this. There's this vintage blue bone. There is also a jigged option, a dapper jigged bone, they call it. Both of them coming in at $63. The blue bone is just chef's kiss. I mean, I really dig that. 14C28N for the blade, 3-inch Wharncliffe blade, and that is like pure Wharncliffe all the way, completely straight edge, the nice taper from the spine, very acute tip. We've got a long pull on the side to help open the knife, and a swedge along the tip to make that tip even more pokey, pointy. Yeah, dig it. Let's check out the walk and talk. Really nice, really good snap. And the fit and finish is, at this price, you're not going to beat it. Which is not to say it's just good for the price. It's just good, full stop. Everything's nice and flush. The polish is good. The pins aren't proud. They're just they're perfectly flush. Everything about it is exceptionally done. So check it out. And as far as I know, the blue one at least, actually both of them are, we're kind of limited to the stock we have on hand. Even RoseCraft themselves, I think, don't have any, because all the dealers, bought up all their inventory, bought up all their stock this time around. So, I'm not saying we absolutely can't get more once these are gone, but the chances are unlikely. Next up, we have, from Sencut, the Selkyris. Button lock flipper coming in at about $47 right now. And it is really nicely done. 46 and change. D2 blade, 3.36. Technically a clip point, but that tip, the way it comes down, if you were to, round over, well, actually, if you were to follow the edge of that swedge there, as opposed to, coming up the spine of that clip, that would straight up be like a modified Wharncliffe. Very little belly to deal with. So again, very easy to use that tip very precisely in scoring motions. The tip itself is very thin as well. D2 is going to hold an edge quite well at the expense of a little bit of toughness and a little bit of stain resistance, of course, because it's not a fully stainless steel. Aluminum handles, and the texture here is pretty good. Some of the Sencuts in the past I've mentioned have felt like a little bit more on the slick side. This one is getting a little bit away from that, giving you a little bit more texture, which should make it easier to hold on to. And these 3 scored lines here are actually really strategically placed. As you hold the knife like so, that gives you, a little bit of extra grip there as well. Deep carry pocket clip. It's reversible for left or right carry. You've got the button lock there, so you've got that finger-safe closing action and the ability to use it in the left hand, combined with that reversible pocket clip, of course. Good flipping action, good thumb studding action as well, and good just wrist flicking action if that's your thing. $47 knives shouldn't be this good, quite honestly. It's quite nice. Next up, we have a fixed blade version of the CIVIVI Altus, which has been a button lock knife up to this point. There have been a couple generations of it, and now you can get it as a fixed blade as well. Starting at $55 for a 3-inch Nitro V blade with G10 handles. There's a couple different flavors. There's also a wood handle option for just a few dollars more. Good EDC option, quite honestly. I wouldn't really call it a hunting knife. The amount of belly here doesn't really lend itself to that sort of typical uses, although maybe a little bird and trout type of stuff. But you do have a very acute tip right there. This thing is EDC fixed blade all the way as far as my estimation goes. The contouring on the handle feels pretty good. You've got a 3.5 finger grip for me. Well, yeah, it's kind of a 3.5 finger grip, but it's easy enough and there's just enough space to choke up on and get all 4 fingers on it, just kind of ignoring the recommended handhold or finger positions, but that would allow me to push through a heavier cut when needed. Not to say it's got a hand filling grip. Things are still kept nice and slim so that it's going to be easy to carry. Could even be carried concealed if you're able to do that quite nicely. The sheath is Kydex, right there. Comes with CIVIVI's T-clip on the back, designed by Bob Terzola, which is very versatile. You can carry it horizontal or vertical, switch things around, but aftermarket stuff like an Ulti clip would make this a perfect in-pocket carry too. It's maybe slightly on the larger side for that sort of thing, but I still think it's well within the realms of easy pocket carry. Or you could carry it inside the waistband, of course, if you're into that type of carry. Nice. Stonewash finish on this one too is going to look good as you use it. All right, now we're going to jump up to some more stuff we got from the blade show. How about another fixed blade for 10 times the price? The Altus was $55. This is $550 Lucas Burnley custom. This is the Kihoku knife right here. You've got a 4-inch MagnaCut blade, really nice shape to it, very Burnley-esque if you're familiar with his style. This is right up his kind of signature look. MagnaCut steel as well, so it's tough and stainless and holds an edge really well. And the finish on this one is called the rough working finish. Comes with blood orange canvas micarta handles. Yeah, it's verging a little red. I bet they'll get a little bit redder actually as you use it even further. And that'll be pretty cool. Feels good. What would I use this for? Well, this definitely has a bit more hunting potential thanks to the amount of belly right there. I think this would also make a good just camping and hiking knife if you're not concerned with like ultra light camping or ultra light hiking, I should say. This could be a good option. It's not heavy, mind you, 7.6 ounces with the sheath. But it's just not an ultralight option, if you know what I mean. Feels good. We've got a few different options on the website as well, not just this one. The sheath here is also Kydex. Gray in this case, kind of closely matches the finish of the blade. 2 belt loops here, and they are pull-the-dot snaps, so if you're walking along and you happen to snag it this way, it's not going to come loose. It only comes off in the upward position there. Now, if you wanted to throw a different attachment method on there, the holes aren't quite spaced to work with a tech lock, but CIVIVI's T-clip should work because it has a middle slot. So it's got a little bit of extra versatility. And we'll leave a link to that down in the description as well. Meanwhile, links to all this stuff is also in the description and in the QR code in the corner as well for all the other stuff.
There's timestamps too.
And yes, for those who sometimes complain that the timestamps aren't working, Thomas always puts them in, except for that one time you didn't.
I fixed it in 15 minutes.
But Thomas always puts them in. YouTube sometimes takes a little bit to catch up. For whatever reason, that just happens.
They're unlikely to tell us why.
Yeah, they're sort of a secretive company, aren't they? They don't tell you how anything works. We just have to guess and hope you folks find us in the algorithm.
Like, comment, subscribe.
If you like Lucas Burnley, you like Lucas Burnley's style, but you don't have $550 to spend, you could spend as little as $59 and change for this, a follow-up to the Kihon DC. This is the Kihon Compact from Boker, a 2 3/4 inch blade as opposed to the 3 1/4 inch of the standard Kihon. Specs-wise, it's pretty similar, though, to that original model. You've got injection molded handles. You have orange accents here. You have a D2 blade that is thinner than the full-size knife, which feels appropriate at this smaller size. It's going to slice pretty nicely indeed. 3.5 finger grip for my hands, even though it's a smaller blade. And let me try choking up here and get the full meat hooks on there, the full gorilla grip. Not bad, quite honestly. I'm not encroaching on the heel of the edge too badly. I could push through some heavier cuts there, which is quite nice. Crossbar locking action feels good. Very smooth, actually. Ball bearings on that pivot. Yeah, quite nice. Apologies as I flick around the knife there. What else? We've got a wire deep carry pocket clip that is reversible. I say deep carry, but as you can see, it's not really a deep carry. It is folded over, however, so you don't really see the hardware when it's clipped in. But yeah, you do see a little bit of handle. Makes it easier to grab though when you are in need of grabbing said knife. I should mention, if you like the bigger size, we still do have, sorry as I fumble that, some versions of our KnifeCenter exclusive of the original, upgraded with micarta handles and 14C28N for the blade steel, so you can get a stainless option instead of the D2 here. These are actually about $50 too, so actually a little less expensive. But these are while supplies last, of course. We aren't keeping these around forever, so get them while you can if you want to. All right, we're going back high end for the rest of the video here. More stuff from the show. McNees Dixons are in stock. These are also kind of going quickly. We had 4 yesterday. We're down to 2 today. So hopefully there's some left by the time you folks are seeing this video, though. These are running about $650. We got a 3 3/4 inch Magna Cut blade, hollow ground with the drop point here. Actually, that's a pretty straight edge, so I wouldn't actually call that a drop point. But it's not really feeling like a clip point either, but I guess it's more technically a clip point than a drop point. Anyway, neither here nor there. The handle is titanium and broad, so it does support a rather large grip when you need it, which is a good thing for a larger knife, wouldn't you think? Wouldn't you?
Some might.
Some might. Frame lock. This pattern is atomic shockwave. Yeah. Bomb drop right there. So, that's the bomb for today. Or that's the bombshell for today anyway. You can clip that into the beginning. That's your bombshell for today, bro. The action on these is really nice. As you can see, you've got kind of that drop shut thing going on, but also, oh man, that sounds so good when you flick that blade open. Anyway, US made, Magna Cut again, has all the benefits we just talked about, and the fit and finish is very good. Again, it better be. It better be on this next one too. We've got some new MachineWise in. Happy to have some more of their stuff. This is the Sonora. This is number 1910, but other numbers are available. $840 for this. You can kind of think of it as, you know, an even further upscale drop point bladed alternative to something like the Malibu. It has got that type of size and feel in the hand, and great button lock flipping action as well, but you're dealing with an integral titanium frame here as opposed to something else like aluminum or what most Malibus are made out of. So it's a single piece of titanium. It feels really good. You do have a bit of brass here as an accenting option around the pivot collar. This is the Blurple Epicenter version or variation, I should say. And you have a tail-mounted milled deep carry pocket clip, which is just oh so nice here. It's reversible for left or right-handed use as well, as you can see right there. Just so nice. Very precise. Flat ground on the blade. We're dealing with S90V steel here with a full flat grind. So you've got great edge retention and good slicing geometry overall. A little bit thicker at the tip though. So if you're using this kind of indiscriminately, digging, prying, which you shouldn't do, but people do, you get a little more strength out of the tip as a result of that. Packaging is this 3D print design right here. It comes with your metal card, adjustment by T15, actually. It's interesting. Some lube, and the piece of brass that the bolster was milled out of. And that comes out little coin fashion right there for you. We've also got several Mojave models from MachineWise, and the packaging on this one's even better. Stick around. 3.45-inch S90V steel here again. Modified sheep's foot blade here. Really nice angular shape to it. Hint of belly on that stonewash blade as well. Rose gold grenade textured titanium. We're dealing with a frame lock in this case as opposed to a button lock, and the action on this, so good. So good. I have not tried to flick it yet. That works pretty well too, thanks to that machined fuller in there. Milled pocket clip, right side only in this case. Chef's kiss all around here too. Chefs are giving a lot of kisses in this episode. Here, however, is the packaging, and this is really cool. It's basically, the lid is locked until you undo this big thumb screw right here, and when you do, you've got your T15 right in there, which is nice, so you get a little extra leverage. And then, watch how we lift off here. Do it without dropping all the stuff. That's pretty cool. You got the card here at the back, which you can set right there. And you can even fold the knife back up, and it will, let me make sure I put this in the right way. Am I doing this right? Probably not. Here we go. Display the knife on the little stand right there. You got your lube. You've got a spacer here in the back that fits in there. So when this is stored, it doesn't wiggle around like other things can in the boxes that they're in. It is very, very well protected when not in use. Next up, how about a fancy version of Microtech's one of Microtech's kitchen line. This is a signature series of the Kitchen Utility 6-inch knife. 265 comes with live wire copper carbon fiber, which is an upgrade from the the G10s of the standard versions. Still, you've got titanium bolsters with a nice contrasting bronze color. The finish on the blade, stone-washed black DLC, which is cool. Crown spine, keeping things nice and comfortable too when you're doing your chefy grips like so. And actually, I feel like the balance is a little bit better on this than the G10 versions. Maybe that copper is lighter, or maybe I'm imagining it. I'd have to do it side by side, but balance is pretty decent. You've got a good rock on the cutting board when you need to do that sort of thing, and a beautiful look when you're not doing any sort of cutting thing. Actually, it still looks beautiful while you're cutting too. That doesn't go away when you start to cut stuff. Anyway, I thought I had something funnier to add to that, but I guess I don't. Sorry, folks. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can check that out. Don't think we have any other of the patterns in this configuration currently, but maybe there will be more coming soon. I do not know. Keep an eye out on the page, of course. All right, next up, we've got 2 from Custom Knife Factory. Speaking of Tony Marfione of Microtech, this is the Ratax, a collaboration with Tony Marfione. Actually, is that Marfione Tony, or is that Tony Jr.? It says Tony Marfione. Figured it was worth, worth figuring it out for sure.
They are 2 different people.
Indeed, they are. The blade itself is actually based on Marfione's Anax design. Sorry, but this combines to make the Ratax because it is in collaboration with Ratatouille, which is the nickname of Alexei Konigan, the other designer. Whew. I think I got all that right, you guys. Maybe not.
Pick up some of the names you dropped there.
$875 for this knife. Blade, M398. So more edge retention than M390. 3.9 inches. Lots of different finishes going on. We've got a polished swedge, a blasted grind section, polished flats, like flat or a hand ground or what looks like hand polished flats, and then a different blasting texture, or at least different blasting darkness in the fullered section, for lack of a better term. Titanium for the handles. We have zircuti inlays around the pivot, front and back. This is also an integral, like the MachineWise from earlier, so a single piece of titanium. My favorite detail, though, is actually the pocket clip. Show you that there. Milled with a lot of great, cool-looking geometry going on. It's even got a secondary pinch point as well to hopefully give you a little bit extra retention, which is good because I wouldn't want to drop an $875 knife out of my pocket. Glass breaker on the back. Let's check out the action. Haven't done that yet. It flips very well, don't you know? Blade angles down a little bit, should point forward pretty naturally if you need to do any thrusting. You've got a little bit of space on the front of the flipper tab there if you needed to kind of extract it from something. You've got that, although just mind the edge at the heel right there if you do that. Let's try to open it some other ways. Let's flick it with the fuller. Oh, there we go. Almost had it the first time. You've also got the small cutout there, which is way up there. Honestly, if you want to like thumb open it, it's easier to just use the fuller there as well. Do that kind of slow roll open. Also from Custom Knife Factory and Alexei Konigan, we have the Ummu Dalawa flipper. Probably getting that wrong too. $640 for this. About the same length in the blade, 3.875 of M398 with a really cool, I'm going to call this a clip point blade as well. Blasted grinds and flat hand ground or horizontal ground flats in any case. The handles are milled carbon fiber. We do have zircuti inlays in a couple of different positions, which give a little bit of weight back to the knife. But this is a 4.1 ounce knife, which for something this size feels quite light. So that has a really nice, agile, svelte feel as a result. I like the geometry of the blade itself. It's not super thick. You've got a good thin sliceability to it overall. The lock here looks a bit like Kershaw's sub frame lock, quite honestly, but it is a full liner underneath here, so it doesn't quite infringe on the patent as I understand it, at least. But you get that that carbon fiber on the back to give you that complete look or the cohesive look with the front, but you have a wide contact patch of the lock like you would get with a frame lock. So that's a pretty cool thing. Let's flip it. Cool. It flips cool.
Good job.
Anyone who's out there who's inquiring about country of origin, Slovakia on these, on both of those custom knife factories. Last but not least, we have custom Mark IIIs from Attention to Detail Mercantile here. $695 for these. 2 3/4 inch blade, S35 VN, with a really cool grind. It's kind of similar to like a Hinderer slicer grind, but it is a hollow grind, and you have essentially a stouter, or actually, how does that work? Would that work with a hollow grind? It's a shallower grind, essentially, as you get out towards the tip, and more aggressive concave at the back. Interesting. But it's still hollow, so the thickness behind the edge stays thinner longer than it would with a flat grind. Steel S35VN, like I mentioned. Handle here is the Sun and Waves Sagaya texture in titanium. Black and blue milled finish, but several flavors of this are currently available. Frame lock, milled pocket clip. The handle, you've got kind of two primary finger positions right here that are prescribed into it, and then a flat section at the back. That works pretty well. Yeah, I like that. And the gentleness of the grooves there should work with a lot of different finger sizes too, especially the gentleness in front of that one. Lockup's really good. Let's check out the action. Ambidextrous thumb disc for opening. A little bit on the small side, but still flicks quite nicely, as you could see right there. Yeah, really nice. Well, that's all we've got to show you for today, folks. Let me know what you thought of the knives down in the comments. To get your hands on any of them, though, check out the links in the description or the QR codes if you're watching this on your TV or somewhere else where you can point your phone at it. But that'll take you over to KnifeCenter.com where you can check these out. While you're over there, don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program or the bevy of new payment options we've added at checkout, including Sezzle if you want to break things into more manageable payments. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera, and we are signing off. See you next time.